Hello, colleagues. My name is Claudia Abar, and I am a kindergarten teacher in District 4. I'm also one of the virtual content specialists for kindergarten. For today's video, we wanted to introduce you to an app that I have found to be a little useful. Now, I am going to link this use of the app to today's lesson, which you will find in Teach Hub. It is Unit 4, Day 35. As a reminder, all of the dark gray slides are meant for you. You will begin sharing with your students once you come here. For today, we will be focusing on this slide, the introduction or launch, and you can find information on this on slide number 3. Slide B is where you will put your introduction or launch. Now, why do we want to recommend another app? I know that for me, some of the easier things that I have done to show the mini lesson is to have chart paper, to have a document camera, or maybe just to show a virtual screen. I don't know what you have been using so far. Whatever works for you, continue to do that. We wanted to introduce an app that we found to be useful because it creates the problems in advance, but also in real time, and it creates a visual for our children to work from. So let's begin by sharing again what it is that we will be doing. So again, I will go back to the lesson. And in the lesson, it says Connie had 9 bouncy balls. Let me draw them in a 5-group way. This app uses 5 groups very, very effectively. So I will show you that now. This slide has a QR code, a visual, and the web address for you to follow so that you can find the app. We will also share this with you in advance so that you can share it with your families if you find this app useful. Once you click on it, you will come here. You can open the web browser, or you can download from the Apple or Chrome stores. Then it brings you to this white paper. We love that it already has the counters here. It has them in red and it has them in blue, but it also gives you the option of using different counters or using different colors. For today, I'm going to make some in green because the problem is going to be talking about them. So now let's go back to the original launch problem. Connie had 9 bouncy balls. Let me draw them in a 5-group way. Demonstrate drawing the 5-group way. So I will come here and I will drag over. You can drag them over 1 by 1, by 5s, or by 10. To save time, let's go ahead and drag 10. And it does not put them in a 5-group way. So now let's go ahead and get rid of these. However, let me show you something else that it does do. If you have a 10 frame, which you might need to use for some of your students, and you drag over the 10, it does align them. It is entirely up to you whether you use a 10 frame or not. The lesson does not call for it. So for the purposes of this video, we're not going to get into its functions. I will drag over 5 and 5 and delete 1 since the problem is only calling for 9. It then says, I will draw a circle around a group of them, a group of 3 to show that the balls were green. Now there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can go ahead and make 3 of the balls green, which will be really simple for some of your children who need additional supports that way, or you can go ahead and circle them and have the children do the math that way. You will click on your pen option. You will choose a color. I will not choose red because you will see that. Go ahead and use green, and I will draw the circle around 3 of the counters to show that 3 of them were green. Then your children will have to figure out what is the remainder. You can do this by using the text option, which will have you type a problem, and I will type 9 minus 3 equals, what's the question mark here? I'll be done with this problem, and I will move this down here so your children can see that as well. That is one way that you can do this. You can also get rid of the green line by using the eraser. And you can go ahead and make 3 of the counters green. Now you can either drag them over from here, or you can highlight them and use the ink block spot to make them green. And this is another way that your children will be able to visually see what it is that you're doing or what the problem wants them to do. Now, in going back to the slide, how many balls were not green and how did you know? The number frames is really useful because it allows us to do this, to draw them in real time with the children, but also because it lets us create the problems in advance. So assuming that this is the problem that you want to work with, which is the one from the mini lesson, you can come here and create a problem. 9, take away 3 equals what? And again, for this feature, I use the calculator looking option instead of the text. It has the same exact function. You can create this, and then you can come here to the sharing option. The sharing option gives you a few options. It gives you the option to save the image, to copy the image. It gives you a full link, or it gives you a code. You can go ahead and cut and paste this code. You can then come here and completely clear your page. And then when it's time to do your mini lesson, all you simply have to do is click on the key and input your code, and the problem pops up. This is particularly helpful because if you're anything like me, drawing in real time, it is so problematic. They do not look aligned. They look completely different than what I want them to look. This way it saves time, but also it's a way for the children to get engaged with the app in case they want to use it at home for their own purposes. Now, once you share the codes, you can share the codes with your children. If you want them to have additional practice, you can go ahead and create a few in advance so that you can have different examples during your mini lesson. Entirely up to you. We hope that you've liked the use of this app, and we hope that you've enjoyed the video. We hope that you'll give it a chance, but always do what is best for your children. Thank you. Have a good one.